very washed out. What happened here? Light, why were you so bright? I'm still just... God, I'm white. You know, it's probably because the game is very white at the moment, so it just makes all of this even more sheet-like. That was supposed to be sheet captions. Thank you. Anyway, hi, how's it going? How are y'all doing? It is Wednesday, my dudes. Yeah. I'm sorry, we're like barely halfway through the week and I'm already done. I want it to be the weekend already. It's fine. It's just been busy, and it will continue to be busy. And that's it is what it is, you know? But gotten a lot done in the last couple of days. I'm very excited about that. And I thought, hey, why not finish out Cult of the Land? Because we were gonna do that, excuse me, on Monday. Well, we weren't going to. That wasn't the plan on Monday. And then it got to the point where we got in and it was like, oh, hey, it's endgame time. And I was very tired after streaming for a couple of hours, and we decided that finishing it later would be better. So here we are now. Finishing it now. Isn't that exciting? Sometimes you just gotta say words until something comes out that's coherent and silly. It's End of Lamb. I figure we'll... It says only 57% complete, which feels wrong. I figure we'll get in, we'll do a murder on the one who waits, and then probably just fuck around on the compound, make things real pretty, and I don't know, probably have our dudes fuck a little more, because that was funny. We have an egg, ready to go, or that is in the process of, you know, hatching. Oh, that's cool and exciting. Holy shit, game. Why are you so loud? What happened? Nope, turn that back to medium, thank you. We'll just turn that down a little bit. Oh boy, is that still, like... That looks very loud by comparison to me. Listen, I wasn't the one who dubbed it the fuck hut. That was someone else. Yeah, why is it so loud? I've not changed anything. Lamb just said, you have to pay attention to me. Yarn Ogre, you love me so much. Will I be your Valentine? Listen. Yarn Ogre, I came to play this game to escape this shit. But also I love you because you're just a silly little bat guy? Sure. What does this entail? Smooches. I see. Oh, you know what? That's fine. Are we just gonna... I mean, listen. That's all it is. That's cool. Can I smooch everyone? Hey, we smooching here? Sorry, is game better or is it still very loud? Because, like, it's fine in my ears, but it still looks really loud in OBS. Is it just the music that's very loud? It all kind of looks really loud. I mean... Oh, God. I guess we'll find out. Once we get into a fight, huh? Yeah, how's it going? How was the end of your stream, Rudy? I kind of had to dip out, because I got done with work and needed to not be at the computer anymore. It was very important that I not be here. It's a cool game, though. I like it. Trinotker? What are you doing, buddy? Can we edit buildings? We gotta get rid of this broken one, right? Move. Because we're like in the process of, I don't want to say downsizing, because that's not quite accurate. But we are in the process of converting all of these into big cuddle shelters, because it's very cute when they're all snuggled up around each other. Why is our faith hurt? What's going on here? Is it because I died? Is that what happened? Can I do a sermon? No. Can I do a ritual? What are we? We can do a funeral. Did I not do a funeral? That seems wrong. Goodbye, Ogre Ogre. It was nice knowing you, buddy. Yeah, let's get this funeral going. We'll feed everyone real fast because I think they're a little hungry. And then it's getting a touch smaller. I'm not having to scroll down nearly as long as I was before. As long as we do a funeral a day, we can kind of stay on top of it, you know? Who wants to be inspired? Literally no one. Okay, that's fine. Go to bed. We're working on it, alright? Here's the thing. Sorry, I have to move my microphone back a little bit because it says that I am peaking, and I don't think that's right. That doesn't feel right. Oh, you know why? It's because it's like in the completely wrong position because I had to wiggle it out of the way earlier. Okay. Well, I think we determined that spiders don't eat meat. Eat food, not meat. Just food in general. Like they don't steal the food is what I'm trying to say and can't. So we'll go ahead and make those so that they're ready. That's 12. And we have 21. So I need 9 more meals for everyone to have at least one. Okay, great. Can we start getting these going again? And then... oh god, we have no money. It's fine. Can everyone wake up and eat so I can make sure that, you know, they're all fed? Look at the baby. Why is he just sleeping out here? Oh, my little guy. Footburger. You're gonna be so indoctrinated by the time you grow up. That's so exciting to me. Does everyone want to go eat? Oh, what's happening here? Many of us managed to save some spare coin to show our gratitude. We wish to donate it to you and the cult. You want me to perform the enrichment ritual? I mean, I guess I can. I thought they hated that. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll likely get enough faith back from just doing the quest that it'll be fine. Also, level up. So the Beguiler, 3 new Eyes of the Lost Relics. New relics. Merciless just increases crit chance, right? Just by the spin attack? Weird. We will still get it because we like the gauntlets. But kind of dumb that it only does that, like, heavy move that that it has. It's not the worst heavy attack from a weapon, but I'm not a fan of them as a whole. Yeah, everyone hates this. But you know what? That's okay. Because they'll love it in the end. How much money? How much? 94? You know what? Great. Okay, where is... Oh, don't want your thoughts. I want to inspire. Alright. Everyone is doing a big old eat. No, everyone come back here! Horrible, horrible eating sounds. Why are they like this? I want to talk to one of you so I can inspire multiples of you. We're just gonna get this horrible blurry close-up, huh? Well, we've gotten some level ups, and that's exciting, I think. Still can't see anything. Can I tend to the egg? When will I be allowed? Tend to egg. You know what? It doesn't matter. What we're gonna do... Since wait, no. I need to collect my quests. You. It is you. Thanks. Level up. Great. Got a divine inspiration unlocked. What do I want? We haven't really done any of these, have we? Ooh, hold on. Janitor's closet or refinery 2? That. I want that. Give me that. And then there's some new things in there. Great. Didn't mean to back out entirely, but it is what it is. Wait, let me keep making. I don't have enough gold. Is the problem here? Here's the issue. I need more gold. Ah! I just want to be able to make all of the things. You know. Is that too much to ask? You're making stone blocks. Hold on. I can't make one more. I am 3 short. Okay, that's fine. We'll have lots when we get back. Why is this glowing? Oh, because I can do new doctrine. Right, I understand. Well, we might as well since we're here. We're just putting off doing a murder is the thing. Oh, is this our last one? Oh. Faith through devotion or faith through donation. Perform a ritual at your temple in which you appoint a follower as your loyalty enforcer tasked with patrolling the cult and raising the loyalty of your followers. Or perform a ritual at your temple in which you appoint a follower as your tax enforcer. I mean, loyalty enforcer. Let's go. Let's go. Great. They're gonna hate that. They'd hate the taxing as well, is the main thing. Okay. Well, that's all of them. We've done it all. Great. Why is it dirty? Who pooped? I mean, it was the baby, right? Oh, I see it. I see the boots. Okay. With that... No, there's still another poop. There it is. Okay. Sorry, there is far too much to do at any given time. Okay, you know what? No, we're doing it. We're gonna go do a murder. It's time to go kill the one who waits. This time I'm actually prepared. I know what's happening. It wasn't that difficult. I was just very tired. Also, rip it and rip it. Yeah, I mean, when we went to go do the thing, right, I thought it was just gonna open the portal, but it said, no, actually, you're gonna go do a fight now. Vampiric. Summon a ghost. The ghost was kind of, like, super helpful last time, right? Let's do that. And then... multiple projectiles. Let's go! Gotta kill Ball and Eamon? Is that his name? Yeah. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do a murder. I refuse to be sacrificed because I am God now. That's that. Yeah, let's go. I mean, we read all this last time. How did you hit me? What are you doing? Fuck off. Okay. Get out of here, buddy. Aim, that's what his name is. Can I have this? Can I have this? I went the wrong direction. It's fine. Nope. There we go. Yes, I do. I am victorious is the thing. He looks pretty cool. But no Calamar. Is all I'm saying. I can't see what's happening. Give me your bits. Fuck! I mean, he's probably like a multi-part boss, right? Shit. Oh, that's a little faster than I would like. There we go. Did you really need to defeated? Did you think that that to be all there was to a being such as I? You thought yourself above a god? Oh, hold on a second. I am getting a phone call.
Not the voice, but also the voice.
Yes? Alright. Have you checked your butthole? Skeet up, butthole. There you go, Emmy. I hope that was what you were wanting. Lumpus.
Coded radio transmitters have an important job, and you wouldn't want them to be unqualified.
Okay, look. Is this a trick? Is whatever I'm gonna say gonna bite me in the ass no matter what? Because if that's the case,
Yeah, it's a dance string now. It's great. Needed to snuggle her.
if you insist. But bourbon, please.
Thank the wild ones. That's all I have.
What a coincidence.
She knew. What was that? I didn't see that
So
notification.
come
Oh
on,
no.
spill it from the beginning.
Can't wait till we meet a literal cool cat. Well, it's okay, guys. We're here. Everything's fine. Look, Allie enjoyed it. I don't know why everyone else is so upset. Like, come on. It was great. Wasn't that fun? See, do I just play in this chocolate sauce? Odd. That right there.
I can't interact.
Fuck! What? 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 What?
I hear it breathing.
It's back there! What the fuck?
I live in this swamp now. I found.
Aww. Yeah, no, this game is really, really cool. I'm super digging it so far. Like I said, the atmosphere, very oppressive, very spooky. Jesus, fuck, shit, no! Snail, please! I, right? Iba? Oh, hi, random skeleton! What is happening right now?
Where do I even start with this?
All of your queries.
No, Dante, same! That transition, I remember I've been... Alright. Do we know what ending 6 is then? Because I think that's the only other one that we're missing.
You.
I'm sorry, baby, you gotta go. Mwah. Sorry. No, hold on. I need that log. I need that message log. I'm in. Ah! Get it! Drop C! Fucking shake what you got! Okay. Not the captions catching my "I love you" to my dad. Sorry, sorry about that. We were gonna talk earlier today, and then everything happened on all ends. But it was important, and we needed to do that. So we've done that, and that's great. Are we ready to continue doing a murder? Also, did I think I was above a god? Yes. Don't mind the screenshot sound. Oh, look at him! You are corrupt, false idol. Your corruption is no doubt spread. Oh no! What is happening? Oh god. Okay, okay. We're gonna focus down one of them. And hopefully that makes it go away. Sorry, he looks cool as fuck! Yeah, give me that heart. Excuse me. Woof, woof, woof. That is not the direction I pointed at. I'm glad those are somewhat homing. Okay, where are we going? What are we doing? That's also not the direction that I asked that to go in. Oopsies. It's fine. Oh no! Oh, that one was rough. Give heart, give heart. None heart, none heart. I think that's it. I just got the achievement. Oh, he's just a little guy! Oh, he's just a little guy! You supplanted me! A vessel no more. Instead, a crown-bearing deity. Damned lamb. I am at your mercy. Are you to be a vengeful false idol or a merciful coward? No longer can you blame your vile acts on me. I mean, we're gonna spare him because look at him! He's just a little baby! You weak, sniveling, foul thing, you... Wait. Wait! I'm hoping that means that he joins my cult. Yeah, 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 yeah. Perfect. Oh, Three Gerbil Giger is slowly trying to get over here. Oh, he's doing what he can. Do we have to wait until he's... Sacrifice reborn vessel. Ascend once more and take true form. No longer... Oh, I missed it. Thanks for playing noble disciple. Please spread the good word near and far so that others may be blessed by the divine teachings of the mighty lamb. I'm gonna skip through this. This is great. I can still play though, right? I mean, he's awaiting indoctrination, so I can continue my little... There we go. You've unlocked permadeath mode when starting a new game. Unlocked penitence mode. Oh! You know, this has been an absolute roller coaster. At least Rieger Wagiger was here to see us kill God. No wonder he was so slow, right? he was feeling a little poorly. What's going on? Sorry, cats were being weird. It looked like they were like reacting to something. See if I can hear anything. Lamb Bam, I love you. Thanks, buddy. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Well. Convert me to your cults. I will follow your teachings faithfully. Look at him. He will never reach old age. I kind of love that. Can I give that to others, please? Recruiting this follower immediately gain 10 faith. Decreased in generation by 10%, but increases productivity and generates devotion 20% faster when wearing a unique outfit. I can change his color? I mean, I want to keep him as is. But I love him. And I'm gonna keep his name as the one who waits, just to like... This is like... I mean, he's my little trophy villager, right? I know! That's what I'm... Rudy and I have got the same thoughts going. I'm wondering if we make him breed for me. If we can make them immortal as well. Because that would be great. There's only one way to find out. Oh god. That noise was horrifying. Okay. That. Why are you so slow? Oh, it's because you're making 10? No. I don't know why he's being so slow. It's fine. Maybe I'm just being too critical. Okay. I want to get those set up and going. And then we're gonna go check the fuck hut. And see what we can do with the one who waits. Because if we can make some dudes immortal, that would be pretty dang rad. Just because I'm sad. I'm sad seeing them all die all the time. We've had so much loss in this cult. This. I'm just trying to get my fancy poops out of here. Well, I got the chance. We'll let everyone go to sleep. Do we have enough space? We do, right? Yeah, no, okay, yeah, we have enough spaces. I know how to count. I know what's happening. Okay. They're all asleep, so I don't necessarily want to check the egg station. Plus, I want to. I mean, we can just take a peek. I guess I could probably make a couple more hatcheries, right? What do we have? I don't have confession booth. Look, seems appropriate to put this in the general vicinity. we'll wiggle everything around. I'm just gonna put that there for right now. Because if we can just get all of the buildings out that we want and then move them around as necessary, that would be great. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do this for the full stream. I didn't imagine that the final boss was gonna take us like a whole bunch of time. I also just didn't expect to be done with this before the first hour of stream passed. So hey, we might, I don't know, did you do something? Yeah, that was a little faster than I had thought it was gonna be. But, you know, it is what it is. I probably should have waited, but I was excited, and also I didn't want everyone to die. I didn't want to have to, like, go get more villagers again. Can I collect some spider silk cradle? Yeah, sure. You're gonna have to wait, though, because, like, got shit I gotta do, bud. Okay, let's do our sermon. Let's do... I guess? There's probably more stuff that we have to do for Midas, right? Game said I had only done 52% of what's available, which is not we're barely halfway through the game, I guess. Ooh, what are these? I guess we could fuck around with the coats some, too. Wait, that's so many. How am I supposed to get enough of these? One hit, no resurrections, deal 10 times weapon damage. Only curses may be used, receive 4 curse-related tarot cards. Heal a heart after completing each room, increase movement speed and starting health. Cannot roll. Oh. No hearts will spawn, but heal using fervor to regenerate health. Okay. Interesting. So I guess we can, like, yeah, we can just go around and kind of, like, try and, like, tie up any loose ends. I don't know, like I said, like, I don't know what all we're missing. Rest in peace, Kayshurrr. We love you dearly. Okay. Lovely. Get out of here, everyone. Be gone. We need... We might have to find a follower to sacrifice. Because there is that option at Midas's place to, like, sacrifice a follower, and I assume that's to get gold. But I also need, like, 350 gold for, the well that's there. I don't remember what... I don't know if he told us what that gives us, but I am curious. Yeah, basically there's a lot that we gotta be checking out and doing. 5! Level 5, baby! Okay, everyone's awake. I want to check. Where is he? There he is. Omegar is pretty alright. Kayshurrr. Kayshurrr is like... I hate to say it, but he's kind of our stud, isn't he? I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have them mate, because otherwise I can't see if I can give them the eternal trait. It didn't look like it was there, but I kind of briefly glanced over. Yeah, it's not there. Okay, that's tragic. But that's okay. I understand why. It'd be a little busted if we could, but also consider... you need to go to bed. You also need to go to bed. Well, we just have this egg now. When is this egg gonna be done? Can I take confession for sin? Increases everybody's sin by like 75%? Hey, the one who waits. Oh, wait, I forgot you're supposed to be sleeping. That's okay, buddy. And I'm pretty sure he's already heading back to sleep, but I'm gonna make sure that that's where he goes. I like that he keeps his funny little voice. I love him. Oop. Inspire. Great. Inspire. You know, as sad as it is, it was good science, and I'm glad we've done the science. Hi, buddy. Oh my god, stop talking to him. Grenogre, please. I don't want to interrupt them because they get mad when you do that. Alright. Why is it taking so long now to do anything? I'm a little annoyed by this. Or is it actually? Maybe I'm just being a little too demanding. That wouldn't be too surprising. Let's get some hops going. Didn't mean to do that. Clean that up. Okay, let's go. Oh my god, I have to feed everyone. Ugh, so needy. Everyone come eat your grass. Very important that you come eat your grass. Baby's walking now. Baby is no longer crawling. This is not a drill. Baby is walking. Good job, baby. Okay. Wanna go see... We should go check on Sozo, because we turned in his quest. Right? Good job, baby! Look at you, baby! Oh, Sozo. Sozo is so happy! Sozo's never had so many mushrooms before. If it wasn't for you, Sozo would never be able to get so many at once. Sozo cannot wait to see what happens. I think I know what happens. I think we saw what happens. Well, at least Sozo is happy. I am worried about Sozo. One of the bishops of the old faith dead. I didn't think it was possible. Oh, honey. More than just one is dead. Let's go check on the horrible gamblers. Also haven't collected their devotion in a while, so do that. Do y'all have anything new to say? That's why Barrett doesn't talk to you. Pop, you scoundrel. You have something to say? Can I...
It's a bad apple.
No. Snoo. I like his stupid noises. Limbo? Do you have anything for me? Limbo?
Lobby, Baba Boosh.
You won't believe it. These blasted witnesses have returned. I swear, didn't you? Take care of them. Well, they're back. What a world, eh? If only the dead would stay that way. Get them gone, won't you? I've dug up some good pieces for you, too. Oh, okay. So that's how we do this. Understood. You'll be fine. You won't. I don't think Sozo's gonna be fine. Sorry. Didn't see that. I didn't mean to come here, but I mean, it is a place that we needed to check. Well, I guess maybe it did need to come here. Okay, it's fine. Lighthouse of Pilgrim's Passage is lit once more. Okay. Do you have anything? No, you just sell me fish. Some decorations. It's not really what we want. Again, I'm just trying to see like where. I mean, we found out we can get more of those pieces from Plimbo, right? We just gotta go kill the witnesses again. Easy enough. 350. We've done all the follower forms here. Wait, is that buy devotion for a gold? Okay. Do we want to sacrifice a follower? I just want to know what this does. Do we have anybody that we, like, don't care about? The answer is no, because I love them all. Ah, shit, they're hungry. Why are they hungry? We fed y'all. Hat Ogre is, I mean, he's at the end of his days, right? Oh, and he was one that, like, came in from... He's got a weird head, and he's all... They all have weird heads, Fruity. Here's the thing. I think he was one of the ones that, like, came in from a mission where they were like, we've got some old folks who want to spend the rest of their days here. Alright, sorry, buddy. Listen, I just want to know what happens. It's science. Oh! Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, much better. I have a few more of these. If you're willing to help me grow my collection. Okay, so we might have to do this a few more times. 4? Or is it... Yeah, and it bakes him into a Pikachu. And he gives me a piece. We might need to recruit... We might need to recruit some followers exclusively for this. And I say recruit just because... Or we could, like, buy them specifically so that we don't get attached to them. That's the main thing. Because I don't like sacrificing our guys. Their lives are so short as is. Okay, maybe we do have, like, enough content to go over for, like, a full stream. I was a little worried. But it's fine. I am out of gold again. Okay. Let's get that second refinery going. Hold on. And then... I thought... I forgot that I need to build the second hatchery for it to, like, work. Okay, let's get things under control here real fast. And then we'll go to the Silk Cradle to finish the quest for whoever gave us the Silk quest. And maybe try and find some followers to recruit specifically for murder purposes. Sound like a plan? We gotta make ourselves some Pikachus. Well, make us some Pikachus. We gotta make some Pikachus for Midas. That's what he wants. specifically for murder purposes. Yeah. Again, I genuinely, in some games, I'm just like, yeah, let's do a murder on all the NPCs. It's gonna be hilarious and great, but I love these little guys, is the main thing. Here's the thing about the situation we find ourselves in. I love these little guys, and I don't like when they die. And I especially don't like when I'm the reason that they die. It is actually very upsetting to me. And so we're gonna make some non-ogres. We're gonna find and recruit some non-ogres so that we can kill them. Yeah. I think we have a don't we have a thing for that? Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. We have a chat command for that. Goals? I had forgotten about that until just now. That's a good one. Right, I can't... Well, I guess I can... I have lots of nuggets. Who's pooping over here? Baby, have I talked to you today? I have not. Level 6 baby? Level 6 baby. This fucking kid. It's gonna be the best follower. I think in general, like, we're gonna stick with just making babies for our cult purposes. I think I'm gonna make another hatchery, actually. Having 2 of those, probably not a bad idea. I don't have any sin, though. Okay. Hold on. We gotta do some sin. We gotta get ourselves some sin. We'll do this and the naughty naked dancing. I could probably take a confession, too. Oh! Baby just pooped. Just in the middle of our drum circle, baby took a shit. Baby, please. Baby, why are you so full of poop? My God. Okay. Great. We have enough sin. Oh, it requires a regular hatchery first. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's do this as quickly as possible, pals. So if we can just stay up on baby making. Then that would be great. And we'll like move everything around and make it look real nice once we've got all of the buildings. I think we're like pretty close to having everything we need. This baby is pooping so much. My God. I mean, I know that's like what babies do. But also, yeah, I have heard that is what babies do. Give me more sin. For an ogre, would you like to confess your sins to me? And then give me some sin? Oh God. Was he just gonna float there until I could help him? There's so much poop everywhere. Oh my God. Baby, please. Can I make an upgraded janitor station yet? Is that a thing I've done? No, it's not a thing I have unlocked just yet. Okay. Understood. We gotta stay on top of making sure that we got enough farms for food purposes. Go ahead and receive those hops so that we can stop making things for that. Have we... Sorry, it's very hard to keep track of everything that we've actually done in a single day. They all sort of, like, blend together at a point. Maybe that's just me. But also, the more levels we can get, the better. Are we gonna level up? Oh, we're just one off! At least we got some divine inspiration. Okay. The funeral. Gotta stay on top of those funerals. There we go. Funny little bug guy. We liked him. He was cool. He had lumps. Rip. That's my eulogy for him. Okay, everyone, get out of here. Okay. Let's do compost. Deposit grass, turn into fertilizer. I mean, that'd be lovely. Demonic summoning circle would be great too. I'm scared of the missions. We have determined that. Let's get the janitor station because I was just talking about it and it would be like actually helpful, I think. Our current janitor station has not filled up to the point of sorry, I got confused there for a second. It's not like ever filled up, but I would like to keep it that way. We gotta stay on top of all of that. Oh boy, everyone. Oh my god, why are they all so hungry all of the time? Y'all are too much. Okay, while they're eating, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go to the Silk Cradle. We're gonna do the quest. What's happening? Oh, hi! I remember seeing you once. Seek the newly anointed god, successor of their victims, last of their kind. Confer with me. Fickle beast, do you not feel how the boundary betwixt this world and the next has begun to fray? You are artless in your duties, infant god. You bestow upon the bishops death, yet deny them rest. The bearer of the red crown set this right. Forced are they to relive their final agonies. Move them on, as is your duty as the new god of death. Crusade once more. Give peace the bishops trapped between life and death. Okay. Can I sacrifice a level 4 follower? Are you kidding me?
What? Yo que mi guarda, yo que mi guarda.
I'm gonna have to kill a baby at one point. Not as a wait, let me rephrase that. Sorry. We're gonna one of the babies that we raise, who's gonna have a very high level, will have to be sacrificed once they've aged up and become an adult. And I'm real upset about this, actually. Rude! Game, I was just talking about how I don't like to do murders on my followers. Oh god, it looks so different here. Okay, well, we're gonna fail the Silk Cradle quest. So that sucks, like, a whole lot. We'll fix it. We'll fix it with a feast, which will then resolve, our hunger problem, as well as the faith issue that will come from failing. Oh boy. I mean, it's exciting that there's, like, way more to do, you know? That would explain why I'm only 50% through the game. I was gonna say, that's a shit ton of content outside of, like, just killing bosses. It's because there's more bosses to kill. I understand. We see now. See that. Give me a relic. Summon a new weapon and increase level. Sword! We do need to work on getting gold. Oh, I should probably go back to the room where we just were and get some of that follower meat so we can sell it. I was certain I had gotten hit there. Okay. I need to go back. Oh my gosh. Stay on top of it. Left a god tier from a mini boss. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at the quests. Hello. Follower meat, please. Not getting a lot. Ooh, hands. Okay, it's whatever. Maybe it's not worth it, actually. Great. We're doing fine on camellias, which is always exciting. We don't often have an issue of, like, our followers getting sick, but when we do, it's usually, like, a few of them at the same time. Come on, buddy. I can almost get a new weapon again. Followers? Follower this way. We are very short on fish. I don't want to hit snail. Give me your bones. Axe. Okay. Oof. How invested are we in you know, doing a murder on all the guys? Cause like I'm here for it, and I'm like more than willing to do it on stream if that's what we would like. I had just, you know, I just assumed that this was gonna be the last stream, and I was very wrong. There's more content. I do like our silly little guys. I do have fun playing this game. It's a spawn. Okay. Eh. Oh god. I guess, like I said, like, I'm down to see it through. But I can also, like, play this on my own time if we're over the lamb. You're down if I am? Alright. That answers that then. I'm, like I said, I'm, like, super down. I just wasn't sure, like, you know, how invested we all were. Oh god. But, like, we're in it. We're in it, right? Oh, fuck off, dude. I shot you. I shot you, you're dead. No, I hate you. I'm scared to get rid of the blunderbuss, but also give me a level 18 weapon. Gross. I regret getting rid of the blunderbuss. But you know what? Actually, this is fine. Because we have a new blunderbuss. And it's a level 19 one. I think... I wonder if we have to go through 4 times again in order to get to the bishops. Because if we do, we could probably Midas. Hello there, valued client. My, such tatty clothing. It's been an age since I've left home, but I was compelled. What a rich world, sinister and vibrant and rich. And isn't charity the greatest virtue? What are you doing? I just got robbed? Motherfucker. Oh! Sorry. Same hat. What the fuck? Sorry, that was very good. Midas? Kind of a bitch. In, like, the worst possible way. Don't shoot me. Only I can shoot. There we go. New follower. I mean, he's gonna be one that we sacrifice, right? Okay, we are the next, like, number of followers we get. I don't think I'm gonna name them ogre names. Because I'm gonna either try and get them up to, like, a super high loyalty level so that we can sacrifice them for the bishop doors, and or sacrifice them to Midas. I think we're gonna try and aim for the bishop doors first. If any of the non-ogres get to be old, then we'll sacrifice them to Midas. Does that sound like a good plan? Because I'd really like to avoid having to raise one of the followers that we, like, breed. Hate that. Hate that. I hate that's what it is, but that is what it is, and gotta be accurate. Yeah, I don't want to sacrifice them, you know? Listen, I indirectly helped create them. Also, look at these flowers with the skulls. Sorry, the level change is so cool. Like, they looked great before. This is really cool. Ah! I like that they're, like, scary now. And dark. Oh, it's just neat. It's just neat. Pupperger was neglected for a day, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm on a crusade. It's all skulls and eyeballs out. Sure is, and now it's bright, so you can, like, see them. I like the I like these ones. The red ones got little faces in the petals. It's not just skulls or eyes in the center. They're all real good. Hey, this game, kinda good. Okay. Give me this, and then we level up, and we get a better axe. We get a level 20 axe. Let's go. Probably should have done that like the other way around, but that's okay. I didn't know we were gonna get a reward for a weapon reward in there. Okay. Ooh, double tarot. Replenish over time. And I receive 10 fervor when I get hit. I need a better curse is what I need. I'm not a fan of this one. Hi, Clownic. Fire projectile and iceman, please. Let's go. Okay, so it is regular guys first. And then, well, that's not what I meant to do. That makes sense, because that's what it was before. I was hoping. Oops. Fuck. And we've done it. Give me that god tier. Give me the presents. Ooh, 2 of them. Okay, that's all right. I'm here for it. Okay, so yeah, or 3 technically. 3 mini bosses, then a bishop. Okay, we could probably get to. We could probably get to the boss by the end of stream. If I, like, really push. I don't even know that I would, like, need to, like, rush or anything like that. Yes, decorating is kind of taking a backseat again. Where is baby? There is baby. So grateful to have spent my childhood in this perfect community. Now I devote myself to you. He grew up. Except, I mean, we like him as is. That's our boy. Okay, but also, because I love you, I would like to give you this one. The life expectancy one. I've just like grown very attached to this baby. Is the main thing. You're not hatching. That's a shame. Okay. We also might take a very quick break so that I can go to the bathroom. Right after I finish collecting everything. So if I stop in the middle of it, I will forget what I have done. You know how it is. Get all the poops in there. Right. Cool. Yeah, let's take a very short break, and we'll be right back and do some more dang nonsense. I can go between. No! No! I think I found it though. We found it.
I don't remember what Cinderella does at all. I just thought it'd be funny.
The actual finish move for it is does like a tons of damage and makes you invincible for ages.
So Cinderella is overpowered.
No! I fucked up!
No!
Y'all!
Mine is an innuendo walking. Oh no, I don't like that. Oh no. Now entering the ring.
This thing just stares at you. Hold on a second. Say hi to our boy. Say hello to our beautiful boy. This is a hell of a situation we found ourselves in. Squirrel loves me. Can I hug them? Does that mean I can hug the dog? Ah! Going in. Dropsy was a very good game. Y'all should play Dropsy if you haven't played Dropsy. I'm back. And I'm ready. Got some chaos. I need to wait to do our feast. So I'm just gonna feed everyone some grass again. Hope everyone likes it. I have to wait until after the quest is complete. Also, I know this is far too much grass, but it's what we're dealing with. Thor Jewel. I mean, that's a. I'm not gonna change any of them because again, these guys we're trying to get leveled up as high as possible, and ultimately they will be sacrificed. That's the plan. We're doing okay on guys right now. We've got a couple of eggs on the way. They take a while to grow up, but like that's kind of worth it. Can I inspire you? It's not a lot, huh? Hold on. Do I have a necklace that I can give you? Yeah. Increase movement speed, generate devotion. Is that what I want? Devotion? I guess just giving them things in general will increase their loyalty and faith, right? It's not big. That's not a big boost. kind of annoyed with that, actually. Oh, you are full up. Okay. Have I done a sermon yet? I have not. Let's do a sermon real quick. My God. Our newly adulted baby he's given us 6 points, and that's wild. I'm just gonna start filling stuff in, you know. What else are we supposed to do, you know? That is not bad. Alright. And we gotta stay on top of those funerals. Gotta remember to stay on top of those funerals. Gotta keep staying on top of the funerals. Oh boy, there are so many funerals. Alright. There we go. All of our graves are starting to get decorated. I love that for us. I don't like seeing them bare. Speaking of rituals... Naughty naked dancing? I think we can hold off on that for right now. Alright, everyone, get out of here. I will do a confession, though. Putburger. Putburger, excuse me. Okay. It's not quite the amount we want, but gets us in the right direction. Same here. We gotta stay on top of our sin production if we're gonna be making babies. And also making the church just aesthetically pleasing. All it does is make it look pretty, but I care about that. Alright, buddy. There we go. Probably should have put this in a different place so that the altar doesn't just like block our view all the time. But hey. Oh. Okay. There's that. Everyone's been tended to. Eggs have been addressed. There is poop somewhere. Someone else can clean that. Okay. Oh boy. Let's go. Dungeons are starting to take, well, I say they're starting to take longer. This one is longer than I remember it being. Which, like, again, makes sense. We're in a new part of the game. It makes sense that they would increase the length of the dungeons and the general difficulty of everything. But also consider, be nice to me. I just want to get back to my boys. All of my pals. Okay. That throw is kind of cool. Don't like that there is like a return aspect to it. I understand why. But I would like to be able to do a murder immediately after guys on the way back. I'm cool with this. Hi, pal. Fleshy. Little lamb, I feel you there. Darkwood has not forgotten me yet. I can still find you in my woods. Whatever you say, buddy. Here's the thing, Leshy. I don't care. Have you considered that I care not? I've killed you before, and I'll kill you again. Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard the noise and I got scared. It's just us failing the quest. That's okay. We knew that was gonna happen. Everyone will be upset, but we're gonna have a feast about it. And that's gonna make everyone love us again. And that's exciting. Let's see. Yeah, give me the 10% chance to not get hit. We like that one. That one's pretty great. Okay. I'm also just realizing that like ding sound I'm hearing and the little star that shows up under how many shots I have is like the chance to do critical damage because of the kind of weapon I have. I didn't realize I had one of the, I think it's like a zealous weapon or whatever. Oh, I'm gonna have to go through a couple of long-ins to get here. We'll go this way. Okay, well, bud, I wish I could. We need to get a summoning circle so that we can try and get one of the heart demons so that we can give it to Ratu. The trouble with that, mostly, well, I guess no. I think I said this last time and then immediately retracted the statement as well. I think it shows you what demon dudes turn into. But I think if you give him the heart demon, you lose that follower. So we're gonna have to use our fodder followers for Ratu as well. My god. We need so many stupid guys. Guys that I do not care about. Why? Why does the game demand this of me? Could just make it easy and use the guys that we've got. Like, we might do that just out of necessity, but like, it's gonna break my heart. I'm gonna be sad about it. Oh god. No! You have to stop moving. There we go. Oh my goodness. It's I'm gonna cry for all the ogres we're gonna do murders on, and I don't like it. I'm gonna stick with this trying to get non-ogres option, right? So that we can, like, not lose our guys outside of, like, natural causes. But I don't know. I feel like that's gonna take a lot of work and a lot of effort. But since we do have to go through, so we have to go through the dungeons again, like, we're gonna get plenty of guys, right? As long as I stay on top of making sure we got babies back at the cult consistently. But yeah, it's a lot. Hi, little buddy. You're real cute. I like your antlers. Okay. Let's get out of here. Go. Gotta get all the meats. Oh my goodness. No! Bird flew away. Tragic, really. Okay. Oh god, that's a bomb. That's fine. It's a little not fine, but you know, what can you do? Oh my god, I couldn't see anything! Also, the day's about to end, and I will have missed doing anything for everyone, right? Oh god. Everything takes so long! Come here, buddy. I want... Getting a higher level curse would be great, but bigger weapons. Also wonderful. Increases time for short duration. Let's go. That's 200? Great. Bye, friend. Ooh! Sorry, the spikes can hurt him, and I love that. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like, which environmental things are going to damage the enemies and which ones aren't. I think all of them except for, like, the big stompy guy. The one that, like, drops out of the sky hurts him. Come here, buddy. Belfar the Second. Ooh, bye! I didn't mean to stop time there. That was a bad time to do that. Well, that was the wrong button. Oh god. Oh no. Oof. There we go. We got this. Give me the blueprint, please. All the paths have been unlocked. Wonderful. Give me my stuff. Great. And then get me out of here. And we just need to go through one more time before we'll be able to have access to Leshy. We'll see. I can definitely get one more dungeon done. What time is it actually? Okay. I would, while I'm like kind of low energy today, I think I have it in me to like just do. Could probably get through 2 dungeons, assuming I don't die. But I have to make dinner at some point, so I have to keep that in mind and not not go too late. I did start a little later than I would have liked. Oh god, our faith is abysmal. Please, can it be a new day? Catch these critters. I need everyone to wake up so that we can... Okay, okay. Having no one imprisoned worked wonderfully. That helped a lot. But I also need everyone to, like... Somebody was trying to talk to me and I'm too busy trying to restore the faith. Oh god, they're all so mad. Okay. That's okay, we're gonna fix this. This will be fixed. Do not worry. Look at that, we're already out of the orange. Oh, just kidding, we're back down to orange. How did that happen? Give me a feast. Everyone loves a feast. You can't be unhappy during a feast. That's not true. You can absolutely be unhappy during a feast. But I've put this feast on. Therefore, you're not allowed to be upset. Oh wait, no, come back everyone. We have to do a funeral. It's very important that we do a funeral. Oh, goodness. For Grover! Our other funny bug friend. I like the Hercules Beetles guys. At least that's what I assume they are. They might just be regular beetles with pincers, but I like them. Alright. Everybody get out of here. You can leave now. Okay, so the only thing that is hurting. Babies. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry, children. I will be there in a minute. I have to clean everything up. I can't bring you into this world when it's all filthy. I won't do that to you. So let me just get this out of there. Nope, don't want to talk to you, bud. I wanted to fertilize some stuff, but it looks like you fertilized, like, everything. Okay, there's the other poop. Now, we can bring the babies in. Oh my god, look at him. Ogre. None of those really flowed, huh? It's long baby. We got a long baby. We got a long baby with little antenna. We got a long baby. Is he gonna become a butterfly? What is he? What is? Oh god! Oh no! Oh no! I do really like him. It's just not what I was expecting. He does have teeth on his head. Is this what happens when you breed the one who waits with others? Is this just the one who teeths? It's just the one who teeth. I can't. It's the S's makes the name too long. I know that's not an ogre name, but it's the one who waits baby. And he had teeth. The one who teeth. Could have done teefs. T-E-E-Fs? T-E-E-Fs. T-E-E-F-S. was saying that I had the energy to do a long stream. Oh my god. Ooh, I can make a shelter for me. That's cool. Listen, I have the energy to do it. That does not mean I have, like, the speaking ability. I'm scared to leave these babies behind now, though, because, like, they get upset. Oh, I can't nurture baby. Where's other baby? Hey. Hey. Oh, there's the other baby. Bug ogre. We're gonna nurture that baby. He's a funny little guy. Okay. Wonderful. Wow. Okay. I have to change your name because other Theon. It's Theon. Hold on, not color. It's 4. Can we unlock a new one? Oh, we did just through baby. Okay, so he is just a caterpillar. That's cute. I just wondered if butterfly babies start out as caterpillars and then turn into but it's fine. We like this. It's cute. I need, oh my god. 1 wood, 2 stone. 1 wood, 2 stone. 1 wood. 2 stone. That should increase our faith as well, since I'm building with them. Oh goodness. Why did like bringing him in really like hurt our faith that much? That's not what I meant to do. And then we have to do this. And we have to do this. And then I need everyone to finish that one so that we can do this. Have fun, everyone! Babies are gonna be pooping constantly. I need to not worry too much about that. Where are our sacrificial followers? Thorgel. Hey, buddy. Do you want some inspiration? Babies be pooping. Would you like a gift? It's the same gift as yesterday. He loves that. If I can just get him to level 4, then I'd be relatively happy. Okay. Oh. Give me your level. Great. And again, we gotta stay on top of producing all these refined materials. It's very important for all the nonsense we have to do. Where is... Oh my god, baby. Thorgel, what do you need? We'd love if you would cook some splendid vegetable feasts for sustenance. Yes. 3 of them? Bruh. Oh my god. I just autopiloted and... Oh, that was a horrible mistake, and I didn't need to make another 3 of these. I just needed to make 2 more, but it's fine. Where is Thorgel? Where is he gone? You wanted this and then you didn't even eat them. You know what? That's okay. That boosted your... That boosted that pretty high. There's Theon. Come here. You need some inspiration, buddy. I like when they all, like, come over. Do you want a gift? That's a muffin. Great. Okay, is there anything else that I can do? Fancy? Why is our faith still down? What happened? Everybody, why are we all mad? What have I done? Why is it so difficult to stay on top of this? What is this? We have a drink tender vest now. Oh my god. Okay, Sin. Let's go, buddy. Confess to me. Yep, he's just gonna float there until I talk to him. Sorry, bud. Thanks for the sin. We gotta stay on top of the whole baby situation, right? Actually, Pond Ogre, you're not the one that I want. Where is your mom? There she is. I mean, let's go. They have a very, very high chance of making a baby. Bear Ogre is having a moment over there. My god. He is so full of sin, is Bear Ogre. Alright, thank you guys. I mean, I hope you know that you need to go to sleep, right? You don't know that you need to go to sleep. Okay. What's up, Thorgel? You know, when I met you, I thought you were super scary, but you know what? You're cool! Great. The way he's just, like, floating after me. Oh my god. Okay, thank you for the sin. Oh my goodness. Right, I pretend to this. I need it to be a new day so I can go away. Add fuel. What is the tabernacle? Right. Place where followers can worship without having to be here at the altar. I remember. It's already full, so we'll leave it be. Oh my god, the other ones have already broken. Please, y'all are killing me here. I don't have enough gold. Hey y'all, I am broke. I need to stop spending all of our bones. That is no longer a great way to do this. I am under 1,000 and that scares me. 1,000, you say? That's so many! Yes, but we go through them so fast. Why is our faith suffering? I don't understand. What's there? Is there a poop there? Why couldn't I build that there? Hi, Arcade. God is dead. I'm God now. And it's great. How are you doing? How's it going? Welcome on in. Oh, our friend is sleepy. Go to bed, buddy. My followers are no longer befuddled. Why was my faith down? Who was upset? Was anyone? Or was it just tripping for no reason? Oh my goodness, everyone's vomiting everywhere. Theon! Go to bed! Go to sleep! Oh my god! Oh, I guess I need to go give that god tier to... Oh? We can go do that while everyone is sleeping. To pass some time, I suppose. I want the shelter to go up. But it takes so long. Also, everyone is hungry again. This is too many people. You know what? I think it's okay if some of our guys die. I think if we can get ourselves down to like a healthy, like, 15, this would be okay. Because managing 24 cult members? Kind of a lot. Can't say I like it. Well, I was gonna go talk to... You know what? I can do that. I can still go do that. Let me just... I can't fill that up, actually. So let's do some of those. Okay. Well, let's go talk to the weird angel guy. So, I mean, that's what he is, right? Look at him. Since your success, I feel the presence of a god tier. Strength, longevity, and a morning that stretches eternally. Found in the bellies of the foulest of beasts and villains. Seen only by those ascended to godhood. Glad to have underestimated you, for I deal only with gods. An offer newly ascended, give unto me a name, and we shall be fellows in enterprise. I have precious articles for a being such as you. I can name him? The dog keeps crying, you don't know what? Puppy, please! Oh, hold on, I have to quickly take a look at some demon names. I mean, my first thought is Stolas, because he likes shiny things, right? You know what, I should probably just stick with my... I should just stick with my gut instinct. Here we go. I've done it, I've named him. We've made our choice. And thus our contract is struck! Bring me the god tiers and I shall reward you in turn. Okay. You want this? I have 2 of them. Glasses must be so hard for him, right? He has to get them all custom made is the thing. Ooh. Huh? What is that? Yeah, I don't know what that guy is. Oh, this is how we also get more of these. Okay. I understand. Oh, it's only pieces? It's not a full one? I mean, I guess that makes sense, but that's just like, you know, a little upsetting.
You give me one.
Okay. It is a new day. I need to go talk to the babies. Why is he just axing the air? Baby? We gotta nurture that child. I could make, like, a real shitty baby. Like a baby with, like, the worst traits. Yeah, I know, you're pooping, bud. Come here. It's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed. You're a baby. Okay, babies have been taken care of. That's a level 3 baby. Hold on. Grenogre, can you wait like a few seconds while I upgrade the place that you were working on? What do you need, buddy? Thorgel is so beautiful, I think that we would be a great pairing in the mating tents. Okay. You're a level 3 baby? Dang. Good baby. It is true. Sometimes we are all just level 3 babies. Grenogre and Thorgel? Him? Y'all would make a horde? Listen! I was talking about bad babies. They would make a bad baby if they succeed. They don't have a great chance of doing that. They don't want me. You don't want them is what just happened there. Oh, buddy. Are you okay? Can I inspire you? Jesus Christ. Yeah, honestly. Gaslighty much? Grenogre, you're kind of a piece of shit. Where did that go? Let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, honestly. It's what Grenogre asked for, and then he got there and he said, nah. Which, like, you know what? If you change your mind, that's fine. Consent's important. But also, did you ask for this literally, like, 10 seconds ago? We could have just avoided all of that. Oh, he definitely is. He's gonna come back and be like, I think we should sacrifice him. And it's gonna be like, well, why? For why? What does this do? Increase the damage dealt with the sword's heavy attack. Why is it all for the heavies? Eyes of the Lost Relics. Yeah, just give me new relics. That's fine. Goodness gracious. Okay. Ooh. New relics just dropped. Would like to do one more dungeon before we call it. I don't think we still might go just a touch longer. I don't want to go longer than a half an hour is the main thing. Because, like I said earlier, I do have to make dinner. It's a whole thing. What are all these? I'm sorry. Do we have new doctrines we can unlock? I guess there was that funny blue tablet from Stolas, huh? Alright. There we go. Alright. That should be fine there. I do need to feed everyone because they're all hungry. We are ignoring the... Hi. You've been nurtured. You don't need to be nurtured again today. I think... I don't know what I think. I don't know what I think at all. I have to feed everyone their gruel for the day. Come on, everybody, it's gruel time! So many adoring fans of this. It's too many! There are too many of them! We're gonna go do one more dungeon just real quick. Because I want to be set up to take out Leshy next time. And also, I want to make it back before the next day again, so that we can take care of the babies before they think that we've like abandoned them or something. Because we haven't. Papa Lamb's just, you know, got God business to attend to now. not easy being the god of death. Assume Western. Let's go. We have a pretty alright curse right now. Oh god. Oh boy. Explogers died. Tragic. It's part of life though. Is everyone dying? Again, I'm cool with the numbers going down right now. It'll give us a chance to like handle the baby situation, but also dwindle the numbers some because it's too many. 24 is too many. Oh, I guess like if we can keep it at 20, that would be fine. Because we do have to. Some of those guys do have to get sacrificed, but only if they get to the high enough level, and also get old. We should put babies in the baby dimension. That's what they did in Fire Emblem. Is it? I have not played a Fire Emblem. It is very much not my style of game, but I can appreciate putting baby in baby dimension. It's I mean, if you say so. Game, here's the thing. You've given me 2 options that I can't use. I haven't played any of the ones since they went weird. Here's the thing. They're all weird. Horrible rabbit. Yeah, that guy's getting sacrificed. Okay. Let's go. I see something about Fire Emblem Awakening. Oh, look. Animal. Fire Emblem Awakening, you can have characters get married and then their children time travel from the future to join your party. But in the other game, not time traveling children, please. Don't touch anything, babies. They're gonna cause a time paradox. I'll buy 'em. Since we're trying to stay on top of this stuff, and also we want all the things. Evening frock. Beautiful.
Oh,
thank you, Barrett. I know, you're out. We'll give you some time. Actually, in the one where Sigurd does everything, there's a time skip in the middle, and you play as everyone's babies. See, I told you, they're always weird. Fire Emblem Birthright Conquest, your characters have babies but don't want their children growing up in the middle of war, so they send the babies to an alternate dimension where time moves very rapidly so that the babies can quickly become adults and then join your war in your base dimension. We don't want our children growing up in this war, so grow up elsewhere and then come back and fight in our war. He quit because Sigurd wasn't there and he couldn't make him do everything. Tragic. But that's what he's there for, is to do everything. Does he not understand that that's his purpose? Fire Emblem seems very silly in premise. I say this with not necessarily like in a wow, that's like dumb. No, it sounds very goofy, and like I can see why some people might like that, especially when you put it as they send the babies away to the baby dimension. It's the dimension for babies. I like to be careful about how I describe things, because I don't want to like typically when I say something is dumb, I mean, you can tell when I'm being like dumb endearing or dumb derogatory. Oh. Ooh, Orbit's nice that damage things. Fire Emblem is wildly tough. They literally don't even explain the baby dimension aside from like 2 or 3 picture cards on screen. That's it. That's all the lore you get. You just this is how you find out about baby dimension. Don't ask any more questions about the baby dimension. We will not answer them. that's goofy as hell. Yeah, that's you know what? Fair point. It's the baby dimension. What more needs explaining? What do you mean that's unclear? My goodness. We're here for it. But no, it's like I don't wanna just sit here and be like, oh, that thing you like is dumb. 'Cause, I mean, I don't know, I've never played it. But that sounds very goofy. We're here for it. You give me this offering, and then you give me something nice, like more money? It's not money. It's not... I mean, the statue does not seem happy about me stealing funds, but also, do I care? No, you can keep that one bag. How about that? Right? What's a statue gonna do? Look at me and judge me? Ooh, I can do that to myself. Thank you very much. Oh god. Holy shit. Sorry, he is not fucking around when he rams at you, huh? My goodness. I'm gonna die. Oh god. I'm gonna die. Never mind. We're not gonna die. I have this handled. Rams. Like a sheep. Like a speep. Just like a speep. Ooh, presents. That's actually great, because I can keep giving those to the guys that I need to do a murder on. Wonderful. Is it a new day? It is a new day, but a second new day hasn't passed, so I can still talk to the babies and not have them feel like I've neglected them. Hell yeah! Also, that puts us in a very good position for next time, where we can get to Leshy without an issue. Actually, it might be... We might try Leshy tonight. Let me go take care of the babies real fast. We gotta... Nope, not trying to talk to you. Trying to clean that up. Okay, there's that. Theon. Hey, buddy. Great, you're level 2. But I need you to... I need... Okay, baby, nurture. We nurture baby. I have touched his teeth. Oh god, I have touched the head teeth. Oof. Nurture that baby. Baby has been nurtured. I'm such a good cult leader. Okay, well, I didn't mean to talk to you, but... They are... Listen, we're very much believers of the free-range baby. Baby can do what they want. For the most part, our cult is very safe. What could they do to possibly hurt themselves? Okay, hold on. We need decorations that I have unlocked, and I need little new symbol to go away. Okay, great. And then I want to make... Oh god, I don't have enough. Why is everyone vomited everywhere? Do I have enough gold now to make more of these? I do! Only just! Oh my god. But yeah, listen. Baby's gonna learn real fast what they should and should not be able to do. So, you know, we're just helping baby out. Inspire. Can I give you a gift? Another muffin. Baby, get out of here. Baby, we're busy. Where did Thorgel go? Thorgel, have a big gift. Good, it's not another cult lamb statue. I would also like a muffin. I would like a blueberry muffin. Just want a snack. Love Mary around here. I need to make dinner. It won't take me very long to make dinner, but I need to make dinner. But I also want to fight Leshy. I just have to heat it. I was gonna make food. I was gonna make some spaghetti tonight. But I have to make the sauce. But that doesn't take very long. But I still have to make it. However, I do have leftovers that I could heat up, but I have been eating those leftovers pretty consistently for the last, like, day. Do I want to eat the same thing again? Honestly, not really. Chocolate muffin for dinner? I mean, if I had a chocolate muffin, hell yeah. Chocolate muffin spaghetti dinner? If it was a chocolate muffin and spaghetti, as opposed to chocolate muffin spaghetti, yeah. I know Leshy will be here after spaghetti, but also... But what if I just go do Leshy right now, real quick? Listen, I was gonna stop at 2.5 hours stream. We're at 2:18 right now. Okay? We can do this, right? Right? I mean, we're gonna have to start getting rid of some of these bodies, huh? I need the demonic summoning circle. That's what we need. Right now. We got it. Bone decorations. Girl, what do you need? Cut to the chase, I want to be the loyalty enforcer. Let me prove that I am the right person for the job. Okay. Nobody's gonna like it, but hey. That's fine. You want to be the loyalty enforcer? Be a cop, you weirdo. Oh, did I select the right guy? Okay, I didn't select anyone yet. Spaleshy. Lashgetty. Lashgetty is good. Sketty. Spaleshgetty. Oh my god, that guy was mean mugging him. Sorry, that was surprising. Oh wow, they've all just kind of tumbled out of there, huh? Where is? There is. He's got a funny little hat on now. You want to be great leader? I am eternally grateful. Great. Wish that had been someone that I could do something with. Brr-grr-grr. Brr-grr-grr-grr. He's leveled up. He's level 8. My god, look at him go. build that there, but I wanted to make food. Because everyone is hungry. We gotta stay up on the gruel situation, you know? Okay, get me out of the bad sound zone. Let's get these going. Great. Great. Okay. Gruel does rhyme with fuel. Very true. Delicious. Gruel fuel. Gruel, it's fuel for the body. Very good. Hey, does anybody want to get drunk? Come get drunk! Baby, you gotta stop doing this. You gotta stop pooping everywhere. New day is about to start. Okay, I have to wait. I do have to wait. Horrible. Where is there another poop? I know there's another poop around here. There it is. Found it. It's the one thing we know about Arcade. Arcade loves being a mouthpiece for big gruel. What was I gonna say? That's a good question, buddy. What were you going to say? I'm just picking on our good friend here. Footburger. I mean, that is your catchphrase, isn't it? More gruel. Just love gruel. What is Sanic doing? Oh, right. Oh my god, they're both just... Wowee. Okay, everyone go to bed. Everyone, go to bed. Well, I didn't mean to eat that. Well, what can you do? That hurt me. That hurt my health. Lamb hated that, actually. Okay. Catch those critters. And then get rid of this, because no one is harvesting this because it's got a thing. Oh my god. Okay. Y'all need to go to sleep. Oh my god. Can it be a new day? Please, thank you. I can give them a little something more than just grass to eat, I suppose. Okay, there's more food. What is dirty? Oh, it's all the vomit over here. Understood. There's a rogue poop around here. And I don't know where it is. But it is bothering me. But I can't find it. Unless it's the bed that's broken that's causing the, like, hygiene situation to be low. Oh. Baby has been nurtured. Where is the other baby? The one who teeth. Hi, bud. Sanic, are you tired? Sanic, if you're tired, go to bed. Slash, don't stay up all night. Yagoon. Oh, we're starting to get low on grass. That. done all the things that we absolutely need to do today. Let's go kill Leshy. Stayed up all night eating chili dogs and running around. He would. Can't believe he's done this. Ooh! Look at that sword! Sword! Okay. If we die, then that's it for tonight. If we kill Leshy, then that's it for tonight. These are our only options. No matter what. That's gonna be it for tonight after this little run. I need to go make food. Desperately need to go make food. If we spaghetti, that's it for tonight. That's it. That's all we do. I'll go make spaghetti. It's very important that I make some spaghetti. I genuinely like meant to make the sauce earlier today, and then I got busy with work stuff, and also did a bunch of other things instead, like edited a video, and what else did I do? I put my laundry away, and I did all these other things that did not include making my food ahead of time like I had planned to. Listen, I'm just that good at prepping and doing all the things I need to. This is not... This is a bad place to be. It's not a bad place to be here. I just thought that the other way was gonna be the way to the end and not continuing on. These dungeons are so long now. Oh. Yeah, I'm trying for some health. Yep, single red heart was sacrificed, and you give me in turn just a soul heart. That's fine. I was hoping for a diseased heart, but you can't be picky. I can be picky. Is the thing. Alrighty. I'm trying to get some of the grass as we go through. I'm not being as like thorough as we were being when we first started playing, but I gotta stay up on all the grass that we have. I've been eating so much gruel as of late. We're gonna go this way because it's a shorter path, so less time actually being here. Give me the funny eyeballs. And also there's a follower up this way. I'm kind of just like stacking them a bit, you know? Just getting them ready so that we can add them at a later date when we need them. Once our numbers are a little more controlled. We love ourselves a little flower. Alright, thank you, Gareth. Bye! Yes! Oh, you love to see it. I love it. And she gives me hearts, and I needed them. Another rabbit? The game is being rude. And only giving me... Well, I mean, I guess you say that. I guess, in a way, it's being nice. I don't feel bad about getting rid of these guys. That's like the last follower we got as well from a crusade. It's weird that they've given me back-to-back rabbits. I suppose. Alright, come on, buddy. Oh that the day is still not over just yet. We're gonna make it in time for the babies. And they're gonna love that. And I love that for them. I love that they love that. Oh no. Plunko and Bop, what are you doing here? What a night for a wander, the air seems different. Bop and me, we were just taking a break from dice for the night. I'll back to Ratau soon. He's a good rat, Ratau. Took me and Bop in when we had nowhere to go. That's why he was a great leader. Loved to buy all. You are too, of course. I'm gonna have to kill Ratau. Is that what you were saying, Klunko? Because I'll fucking do it. Can you imagine? Powerpuff Girls in this. Save in the day. 20% more damage during the night? Is that what that said? I stopped paying attention. Oh god. Okay. Everyone's shield is gone. Perfect. We are starting to get our bone collection back up again. 2 times more fervor. Exploding bodies would be great, but more fervor would be lovely as well. Oh god. We are full up. Nothing else down here. So this way. Great. We are getting through it. Sir, I dodged that. Can't keep doing this to me. Okay, yeah, give me the axe. Lots of blue and red right here. It's like 3. That's how that works. Absolutely. Hope you got your 3D glasses all ready to go. This fight's gonna be wild. It's gonna be like Leshy is reaching out to punch you in the face. I'm sorry he's doing that. That's very rude of him. Grenogre is reached old age. Time to put an end to this frivolous masquerade. Time to put an end this. Oh god, look at him. He's not doing good, huh? Poor guy. What's he gonna look like now? Oh, very beat up. He's missing chunks from his head. Very much lost his chunks. Poor dude. Leshy still ain't shit. I'm sorry to tell him that. But I was expecting more from him, you know? I guess that was my mistake. Sorry, Leshy. Wait, can I convert him too? Oh, he's giving us lots of god tears. Oh, I'm excited for little Leshy. I love that, like, we get to, like, convert these guys. I assume that Leshy's also gonna be immortal like the one who waits is. Yeah, he went down real fast. I mean, he was the first boss when we first started playing. And yeah, I mean, you know, there was the chunk situation to take into consideration as well.
Come on.
Different souls guide them now into the after, so they may not lose their way. Or consider, I keep them on my compound as cute little pets forever. I mean, I imagine that's like what it's gonna be for all of them, is they more or less remain the same, which makes sense considering that our angel buddy, now known as Stolas, mentioned that they are just kind of like stuck in this like limbo essentially of just like reliving the fight that they had with us over and over again. But we love Long Baby here. Weird as he may be. Look, he's great. Alright. Theon, please. I need you. Or Thorgel to get to level 4 so that I can sacrifice you. Teeth Baby is very normal. Aw, Teeth Baby was given affection. You love to see it. I'm gonna wait to hatch that egg. We're gonna give that a little bit. I want the 2 current babies to be grown up before I add 1 more baby. When a baby's born and they don't have teeth, you know something's wrong. It's true. You gotta put that baby back. That baby's no good. Gotta send that baby back to the baby store. Tell them your baby didn't come with teeth. Excuse me, baby store. My baby doesn't have any teeth? I think you've given me the wrong baby. I specifically asked for one with teeth. They should have many teeth all the way along the top of their head. It's true. That's just correct for babies. Dorgel, what do you need? Some elders have been cast from their cults and now seek a place to enjoy their final years. Maybe we should let them join ours. I mean, just 1. But that does give us 1 for... Fuck, that means I have to add the other guys, though. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, we do have a couple of people, like, getting ready to fucking die. Oh boy. Can I... We also gotta add the guys to get Leshy. I need a few of our people to die first. Okay? I'm very excited about the Leshy situation as well. But I need us not to have 23 followers anymore. I think we've got two dudes that are old at the moment. Once they're gone, we'll bring in a couple of people. I think Leshy and the others will be for next time. I know I said I was gonna be done once Leshy was taken care of. But I have to do some tending to the compound. It's important that we make sure everything is in order before we leave. He will be taken care of. Here's the thing about the situation with Leshy. Oh boy, we sure are gonna have a Leshy soon. And that's really exciting, I think. It's true. Well, not quite a week, but close to a week. He will be waiting for quite some time. But that just means that once we get him, it's gonna be that much sweeter. Yeah, see, he's just taking a nap. Listen to Arcade. Arcade knows what she's talking about. Oh, boy. We are leveling up real quick now, which I guess is like one of the nice things of having a million cultists. But also, it's too many. We do have a feast ready, which is great. You love to hear that. Let's do our funeral first, and then we'll do our feast. and then we'll call it there. The first of the Fogers. Our first Foger funeral. Our sweet boy. Maybe the next funeral we'll do the other Foger, just so that they can rest in peace together. Funeral and then feast, and these events are connected. It's true. Listen, it's we're considering this feast a celebration of the life that our fellow former cultists lived. Oh boy, they sure were great. Let's do an eat, y'all. God, Pond Ogre is just sitting there with his beak on the side of his head. Horrible, horrible creature. Alright. Great! We've done it, everyone! Just gonna quickly collect some things. Okay. You got that one, buddy? Great. Alright, well with that, we'll do a drum circle. And then we'll call it. Gotta get that Sid. Very important that we get as much sin as possible, all of the time, forever and ever. Yeah, we gotta groove a little bit, because there's nothing better than a lot of physical activity after eating a huge meal. It's our favorite thing, actually. It's horrible. Oh, God. Okay. Now. God, sorry, there's shit everywhere. Literal poop all over everywhere. There's another one around here somewhere. There it is. Found it. Okay. Now we save. Alright. It is. This too is part of our funeral. There we go. We've done it. We killed the one who waits. We have become God. And that's exciting to me. Trying to think of like what else there is to say. We'll keep doing this next week. And that's cool and exciting. As per usual, probably Monday we'll see how we're doing, how we're feeling, how it's going. Oh my god, excuse me. But yeah. We know why we were only we know why. We now know why. There was still like lots left to do. Because there was lots left to do. There was still a whole other half of the game on the other side that we like hadn't even seen, hadn't gotten to. Fucking wild. I'm excited. I would have been content with it ending where it ended. It was still good. It was still fun. We liked it, but to know that there is more is really cool and really exciting. Like, I'm not bored of it, which can happen with these kinds of games for me sometimes. You know, where it's like you get through it and you get to a point. Like I said, like earlier, I was like, I'm with just grinding through, with just grinding through the dungeons and not necessarily having anything else to do except just gather supplies. It was kind of like, I could probably be done with it. But knowing that there's like things at the end of the dungeon, I'm like, oh hell yeah, let's go. Like I wanna fight more bosses. I wanna collect more things. Let's go. I think this is like a bonus second run if you're not bored yet. But there's actual new stuff, which is cool. Yeah. And I'm here for it. And it's neat because I want to know what's going on with this angel guy. Am I gonna have to kill him too? Cause like, fucking do it. I'll do it. Anyway, let's see who's online. Let's go say hi to Super Great Friend. Because he is playing Parasite Eve. And I love Parasite Eve. And we also like Super Great Friend here. He's pretty cool. Yeah. Trying to think what's going on. Oh god, Homecoming this weekend. Fruity's gonna play some Silent Hill Homecoming. Oh boy. And that'll be exciting. You should come attend and watch us suffer if that's your thing. And then yeah, we'll be back with this next week. Until then, no, thank you, Arcade. Thank you all for just being here and hanging out. Enjoying this silly game with me. Come here. Come here. What? Charlie? Say hi. Just pat it. You're not come up. Here, we'll say goodbye. Can you say bye? Like, why have you picked me up? Oh, now he's here for it. This is the face of a happy cat. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Have a good one. Goodbye, friends.